Hi, I'm Don Jurgler, editor of Claims Journal. Our team here works to bring you regular videos highlighting experts speaking for a few minutes on a claims-related topic they wrote about for us recently. The videos are part of a new initiative to bring you a better, redesigned Claims Journal experience, which includes an entire section of expert viewpoints with trends and insight. Take a moment to check out our new homepage and other expert viewpoints on claimsjournal.com. We hope you enjoy this brief interview. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Alan Lehman, and I am a content editor here at Insurance Journal and Claims Journal. Super excited to have y'all here today for our newest episode of the Claims Journal Expert Viewpoints video series. My guest today is John Kennealy. He is the Vice President of Claims for Pennsylvania Lumbermens Mutual Insurance Company. And just wanted to start off saying thank you so much, John, for taking the time to be here with us.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah. I think this is going to be kind of a fun way to pick your brain and talk a little bit about something that I don't think a lot of people have a lot of expertise in, or an area that may be new to folks. I'd love to just get kind of an overview of PLM from you and learn a little bit about the folks that y'all work with.
So PLM is a mutual company that's been around since 1895, I believe. And since that time, we've existed for one purpose, and that is to serve the lumber niche of the marketplace. And so for all of these years, we've been doing just that. We only write risks that are associated with wood in certain respects: building material dealers, lumber yards, small mills, furniture, door and window manufacturers, and risks like that.
Awesome. Well, no, thanks for kind of just giving us some context there. I think that's going to be super helpful to keep in mind as we go through these questions. And I think it leads us good to that first question there, which is just, I wanted to ask y'all, how you're seeing nuclear verdicts impact the lumber industry specifically. I mean, we know that these high dollar awards are prevalent in a lot of industries, but are they having a unique impact on lumber?
It's hard to say. I kind of track verdicts through social media and through the various attorneys that we do work with. And I haven't encountered any firsthand, Alan, and I've always thought if the insurance industry in general is doing the job correctly, we shouldn't be seeing any nuclear verdicts. So offhand, I can't think of any, but still, we know that these type of verdicts happen all too often, and every insurance company, PLM among them, has to be ever vigilant. Best practices in terms of claim investigation and partnering with the right defense counsel across the country are two proactive measures that we can employ from the outset to do our best to avoid nuclear verdicts.
Well, no, that's good to know. It makes me wonder, even though you haven't seen them or you're not seeing them firsthand, are there any types of claims that you think could be susceptible to a verdict like this?
Absolutely. Claims that would easily inflame a jury, I think, are the ones most susceptible to runaway or nuclear type verdicts. And so you have to work very hard from the outset to humanize the policyholder and to distill a story that will resonate with the jury, keep them on an even keel throughout the entire trial process so that you minimize the risk of any kind of nuclear verdict. So I would say the number one factor that gives rise to nuclear verdicts is anger on the part of the jury, or a feeling of threat to the general population at large, such that they act in a way that trying to deter the kind of behavior that gives rise to that threat.
It's a conversation we've been hearing a lot lately from both insurance defense folks and folks like you too on the claims side, really kind of just outlining what could be the spark behind a lot of these verdicts. We have a really big claims audience, as you can imagine, at Claims Journal. But we one of the things that we always want to keep in mind is just focusing on things that may be relevant to them. So for you, even outside of nuclear verdicts, what kind of emerging claims trends are you keeping an eye on in the industries that you work in?
The one that springs most immediately to mind, Alan, is construction defect. A lot of our accounts, as they grow larger, they branch out into different kinds of operations. And so they go from just manufacturing doors and windows to installing doors and windows, or contracting with entities that do. And that drags them into this ever-burgeoning construction defect litigation that is spreading across the country. So from my standpoint, where I sit, looking at claims trends the way I do, that's one I keep my eye on very closely.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for kind of, pulling the curtain back for us a little bit right there and letting us know. I mean, are there any other types of trends or any other things that you're really focusing on as we kind of get to the end of the year now? Just anything that you're going to be watching in the claim space?
There are always things that we watch, right? That's what we do. We watch every day to see what begins to gain traction in the litigation environment. And some of the other types of claims that I watch pretty closely are glyphosate claims. These are claims for cancers associated with the use of Roundup products. We insure a lot of hardware stores that sell this kind of product, and it isn't uncommon for them to be dragged into those kinds of cases as well. Even though they're lower tier types of defendants, still becomes an expensive proposition to defend them and assist them in fighting their way out of the cases. So we watch that. We watch other kinds of types of litigation associated with other kinds of products, I should say, such as degreasers and things like that other hardware stores would routinely market that could give rise to litigation for, exposure-related diseases associated with the use of those products.
I think just the last thing I'd ask is for our viewers watching today, is there anything else you'd like them to take away from our conversation?
I think we all understand the way in which claims is evolving. We've been studying it for a lot of years. We've heard a lot about the reptile theory for a lot of years. And that kind of, brings me to the point, which is, the reptile theory has been around for a long, long time. And that is one of the impetuses for the nuclear verdicts that we're seeing. And if we're not just seeing nuclear verdicts associated with this kind of theory of litigating, we're certainly seeing the effects of this dynamic on social inflation, on the concept that we call social inflation, with just escalating claim values in general. So, I think the insurance industry and the defense bar have to coalesce better than they have thus far to really mount vigorous defenses to these kinds of claims, to de-escalate these kinds of theories over the course of a trial so that, juries are, as I said earlier, put back on an even keel and not worked into a lather to produce the kind of verdicts that really don't track with the damages that have been presented during the course of that trial.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that collaboration between insurers and the defense parts, it's something that we're going to be super interested in following too. I mean, it's an incredibly newsworthy topic, we think. So I thank you for just kind of shedding your perspective on it with me today. And John, I thank you again just for coming on and giving us all the information that you did. For the folks who are watching this, for the folks who are watching, we thank you for tuning in as well. And we remind you that we have a whole library of videos on the Insurance Journal TV website that include expert viewpoints as well as other content that you may find interesting or relevant to the work that you do. So until next time, thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. Take care.
Thank you.